Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
Count Jackula.
And today we're talking about Starve Acre, a British folk horror film from writer-director Daniel Kokotajlo. I might have mispronounced that name because I honestly do not know how it's pronounced, so I apologize in advance. When I say this is a folk horror film, it is literally about a family that moves into a rural town, essentially moves into the father's old farm.
Yeah.
And unfortunately run into trouble because it turns out at some point in the past, the father's father tried to sacrifice the father to some ancient spirit that lives on the grounds and never completed the ritual. So guess what?
Guess what?
That thing has come back and is gonna finish that ritual. This guy's family be damned.
Yeah. And the spirit takes the form of a hare.
Yes. A bunny rabbit,
rabbit.
Giant bunny rabbit. Making this movie almost feel like Pet Sematary by way of Easter.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's an Easter movie. It's got everything you need for Easter.
It's a
got
pagan
rabbit.
Easter movie.
It's pagan, and it has to do with death and rebirth.
Yes. You know? Absolutely.
Yeah, put it on the rotation. It's a feel good.
So there's some things that happen right away with this movie that are major spoilers, so we're gonna have to talk around them. But needless to say, this is a movie about a man, played by Matt Smith, trying desperately to deal with the grief of his past, as well as some griefs that happen over the course of this movie.
Yeah, plus some bad things that are just happening in his present.
Along with his wife, who is played by the woman who plays Galadriel on Rings of Power. I forget her name. I'll put it right here. She plays his wife. And the thing that actually makes this movie work the most is their relationship. And the way it kind of falls apart over the course of this movie felt so natural I forgot I was watching actors.
Yeah.
Like, I almost felt like, wait, were these people actually in a relationship? Because this feels too real.
Natural's the best way to put it, because it's not like suddenly everything just sours. You watch it spoil over the course of 90 minutes.
And it's also like, it's not like a bunch of Hollywood misunderstandings.
No.
These characters are holding very honest human grudges with each other.
Yeah.
And also some of it is like residual guilt for their own actions.
Yes.
And they're
Yeah.
taking it out on each other.
Yeah, it's very much the relationship is spoiled because of terrible things that happen.
Yep, absolutely.
And they can't really get over them because they're hard things to deal with.
And they're dealing with a lot when this movie even begins. You have the fact that whatever's happening on this farm is causing their son to get just weirdly violent at random times. Normally, he's their happy-go-lucky son.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go out into the field and find some rocks. This'll be great. But then other times, he's stabbing horses in the eye. All of a sudden, he's fucking the problem child.
Yeah, and it becomes very clear that the child is slowly becoming possessed.
So you have the mom who's dealing with the horror of this happening to her child. Like, have I failed as a mother that this is happening with my child? You have the dad who's a little bit in denial about what's happening.
Yeah.
But he's also dealing with his own trauma because when he was a child, his dad tried to sacrifice him to a pagan god.
Yeah. His dad tried to kill him.
So he's got some shit he's dealing with that's making him not the most present person in the family. He's present for the son, but not so much for the wife.
Right.
So it becomes this weird kind of like, you're not really here, yet you're here.
Yeah, and there is this kind of weird tension that's happening that you can feel something else is kind of going on. That's revealed at the end.
Yes, this movie does have a very fucked up conclusion that kind of makes the whole movie for me. Most of this movie, 90% of this movie, is a very slow burn. It's this family falling apart over the course of this movie. And then at the end of the movie, full pagan horror. Even though it doesn't borrow a lot of plot points from it, with just the overall vibe of Pet Sematary.
Yes.
That kind of rural setting, that kind of like, this ground is soiled kind of vibe throughout the movie. Even though it's not borrowing direct plot points for most of the movie.
There's still the old guys like, oh, that ground runs.
That's the other thing. There's like an old guy who knows more than everyone else.
Yeah.
Who's constantly coming around saying like, oh yeah, that's where Pagan Jack used to be.
You know? The old guy in this one is not trustworthy. It's not like the old guy in Pet Sematary who you're like, well, this guy seems he's well-meaning.
And the two family members, like the two heads of the family, the mom and the dad, are at odds of whether he is trustworthy.
Yeah.
Becomes a big conflict throughout the movie. I liked this movie, but it's not going to be for everyone because it's definitely like one of those acquired taste kind of movies. If you can sit through a 90-minute deconstruction of a relationship with a good 20 minutes of solid pagan horror in it, then you're going to enjoy this movie. But if that sounds like a slog for you, then you're probably going to be bored.
Yeah, you're probably not going to make it.
You're probably not going to make it, no. But I did enjoy it. I did think it was a good movie. I think this is the perfect pagan folk horror movie for Easter time.
Yeah.
Not just because of the bunny, but also because of some of the reoccurring themes in the movie.
Yeah.
Starve Acre is currently available on Shudder. I believe it is also available on other platforms, but Shudder's where we watched it. So with that said, let us move on to the spoilers so we can talk about the kind of awesome final act of this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so first things first, they actually find the rabbit already dead. The dad is a teacher, a professor at a nearby college, and also kind of an amateur archaeologist. He once told his son that they were going to find this old tree that used to be on the property and try to find its roots, so he tries to set out to find it after his son is fucking murdered by the spirits. That's the part that's the most Pet Sematary about this movie. About 20 minutes into the movie, their son just fucking dies and you're not expecting it. Because you think you're going to go into like child starts like murdering people
we thought,
territory.
child's gonna murder people. It's like, okay, we're either gonna Pet Cemetery this or we're gonna Babadook it.
Yeah.
And no, we go in this completely other direction.
This kid dies. It is a very much kind of like Gage in Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
He is not resurrected physically, though he does appear spiritually to the characters throughout the movie. But anyway, he's doing the archaeology thing on the property, and he uncovers this skeleton of a dead hare. He takes the skeleton, he puts it in a box, like an archaeologist would do if he found some sort of bones or whatever. Later on, he opens up the box and realizes that the skeleton is forming flesh.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of something rotting. It's like over time, it's becoming alive.
Yeah.
So one of the weird, I don't know if body horror is the right word, but one of the weird, graphically horror things in this movie is this bunny rabbit slowly becoming a flesh beast and then eventually becoming a rabbit, which they have to let loose back onto the property because it's now just a fucking rabbit.
Yeah, because rabbit without skin is freaky looking.
It is freaky looking.
Very freaky looking.
The thing is, when the spirit killed his son, it essentially completed the ritual, and it is essentially a way to open this gateway to the underworld. And there's an entity on the other side that wants out that is taking the form of this rabbit throughout the movie. But it's very important to this creature that the family sees the rabbit as the spirit of their son. That's where kind of like the birth rebirth thing happens with the fucking rabbits. It's literally a rabbit that rises again. It's like an Easter movie.
It's the story of Jesus.
It's the story of Jesus, except it's pagan Jesus and opening a gateway to the underworld that I don't think is a good thing. So throughout this movie, there are certain characters that come to help the other characters. One of which is the mother's sister shows up to try to help her with the grieving process of losing her son. The old man who shows up on the property a lot, who eventually brings an old woman. She's kind of like Zelda in fucking Poltergeist. Does this whole little ritual thing of like, hey, we're going to help your son move on. Okay, he's now moved on. Yada, yada, yada. And she thinks that this person's there to help her or whatever. But really, she was just there to continue the next part of the ritual because both her and the old man are true believers of the entity that lives on this property.
Yeah.
And the two of them eventually show up on the property and help them complete the ritual. One of which involves the entity possessing the mom and killing a colleague of the father.
Yeah.
In like a fit of possession. Like you think the whole movie, he's gonna be the one who becomes Jack Torrance.
Yeah.
And she's the one who becomes Jack Torrance by the end of the story. The final kill actually does end up coming from the husband, the father. At the end of the movie, he confronts his wife, who has taken the rabbit, treated it like her own son, and is nursing it from her breasts. I repeat, is nursing the rabbit from her breasts. That's a thing that happens in this movie. Then the father essentially gives into the whole situation.
Yeah.
Grabs the hammer, kills the sister, and now they're gonna raise the entity that
they're gonna raise this little rabbit as their own.
Which is obviously the creature that is gonna be the undoing of civilization at some point.
Yeah, or whatever
it is. So yeah, that's Starve Acre. I really love this movie. It's a very slow burn. The performances are fantastic though, and that that ending. That ending makes the movie.
Yes.
So anyway, my fellow Gorehounds, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
You can find me here on YouTube, 7 p.m. every weeknight, Pacific Standard Time, where I stream, and I'd love to see you there. You can also follow me on Blue Sky at Count Jackula. Yeah, that's it.
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at various social media platforms, but these days I primarily use Blue Sky, so follow me on there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way, but we will certainly accept more. And if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below. Be sure to comment below using the hashtag Happy Pagan Easter. Use the hashtag Happy Pagan Easter. That way I know. That way Jack knows. That way the whole world knows that you are nursing a jackrabbit with your breast.